Ronnie Coleman versus the Jurassic Park Paul Dillett. I remember that I read Flex magazine back in the 90s about the 1993 Mr. Olympia, where Paul was placed 6th and how Dorian looked so small next to this giant who stands over 6 feet tall. So let's see how he would fare against 8-time Mr. Olympia Ronnie Coleman. The front double biceps shows the incredible size they both have in their biceps, with Paul having the longer biceps but Ronnie has the better peak. Both have wide chest, shoulders and lats that grant them an impressive V-taper. What I used to like about Paul's physique is that although he was a mass monster, he still had a small waist and ripped six-pack abs. Ronnie's conditioning, however, is on another level, and you can see that in his better separated arms and quads. Paul always had a problem with the lat poses. He couldn't spread out his right lat the way he did with his left one, and we will see that in the rear lat spread. Ronnie shows incredible size and conditioning with the striations in the chest, shoulders, vascular massive quads and wide lats. Ronnie here dominates Paul with his wider and denser lats and overall conditioning. The side chest shows the size and the conditioning they both had in their upper physique. I didn't like the massive veins in Paul's chest and shoulders, although I read once that he liked to see how people were frightened by the sight of these veins. Ronnie has the more symmetrical and proportional pose, with his thicker and more rounded chest, better developed shoulders, especially the front delt, and the better separated arms. Ronnie turns Paul into an amateur in the back poses. In the back double biceps you can see that Paul is severely disproportionate. He had oversized rear delts and massive traps, but his lats almost disappear. Ronnie, on the other hand, had one of the best back double biceps ever. His wide and ripped lats and traps perfectly connect with his shoulders. His glutes and hamstrings are way more massive and ripped. Here is another back double biceps shot, which shows how narrow Paul's lats are. This was one of the major reasons why he didn't place well in the big contests. There is no way he could match the likes of Dorian, Flex Wheeler or Sean Ray with this weak back. This shot also shows how incredibly shredded and massive Ronnie's glutes and hamstrings were. The rear lat spread shows that Paul couldn't hit a proper pose and couldn't spread out his right lat. I don't think this is related to atrophy, because he still showed an impressive V-taper in the front double biceps. But I could be wrong. Anyway, his back poses were his weakest poses. As much as he was intimidating from the front, he was weak and disproportionate from the back. The abs and thighs shows that Paul had a small waistline and ripped six-pack abs. He looks more aesthetic than Ronnie, whose midsection was among his least impressive areas. Ronnie, however, has the better ripped and separated quads with the superior conditioning. The most muscular shows the incredible size and conditioning they both had in their massive traps, shoulders and chest. In the 90s, Paul arguably had among the most massive shoulders, along with the likes of Kevin Levrone and Marcus Rule later on. Ronnie, however, has the more massive chest and the better proportioned and symmetrical physique overall. Here is another most muscular shot that shows the size of Paul's shoulders, which overwhelm his chest. Ronnie, on the other hand, shows incredibly ripped and huge shoulders, which go proportional with his massive and ripped chest. So Ronnie was dominant with his unmatched physique, which combined size and conditioning. He was truly unmatched and nearly flawless in his prime. His massive and ripped chest, shoulders and arms perfectly matched his massive and separated quads, and formed that physique which prevailed for years. While Paul, on the other hand, may had the size, but severely lacked the symmetry and the proportions, especially in the back area, which prevented him from being among the top 3 in the 90s. That was all for this video. Thanks for watching, and have a nice one.